You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's as anyone who's watched our little opening, this is the star of the show. You know, she just wants to say hi. Say hi, Parker. Okay, you're a good girl. Thank you for letting me carry you. Welcome everybody. Fat Jack's Comicrypt, Brendan, Al. Jason's running an errand for me, so he'll be back. The tripod is here, but we also have the greatest co-host of all time, my sweet, sweet Parker Posey. All right, so tonight we got a bunch of really cool, interesting Dynamite variants we're gonna talk about. A couple signed books. We're gonna slip back into some more underground comics. We got a bunch of other stuff, and if we kind of not run out of time, but if we run out of books, maybe near the end of the show, we're going to do a bunch of $5 variants, things of that nature. So if you want to get some deals, check us out on the back end. If you want to check out some interesting metal variants, something I was not aware of before, but we got them. And worst comes to worst, Jason, Al, and I will have a bunch of conversations about nothing anyone's interested in. So please hang out with us. We'll be on until 8. So see you in a minute.
Not very carbonated.
I like it better when the customers give us beer. I'm a big fan of. Anyone who wants to give us beer, please feel free. Yeah. Or if you want to give us something more in the flowerish realm, something that's a little bit more homegrown, we're always open to it.
Or you can come pick up your books.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's probably.
That's what we want. Don't be bringing in drinks when you got books on.
All right, so real quick, we're Fat Jack's Comicrypt, Brendan, Al, Jason. We're here to hang out. We're here to sell some comics. We're here to talk about comics, or who knows, talk about anything. We got Parker hanging out with us, so she'll be. Oh, you want your ball? Okay, we'll get your ball in a second. So real quick, if anyone's watching us, you've never seen us before, let's just do some business real fast. That would have been so funny if she accidentally knocked the extension cord and everything just went. That would be a great moment. That would be a highlight of my year. Okay, so the way this works, please claim the books in the chat. Please be as specific as possible, so there's no confusion, especially if there's different, multiple title or multiple issues of one title, things of that nature. If you are here local to our Philadelphia shop, the books will be on hold here for you under your name. If you are closer to our New Jersey shop, we will send the books over there for you to pick up. If you need us, if you're outside of the area and you need us to ship the books to you, most likely if you shopped with us before, we're going to have your contact and shipping information. But if this is the first time you're shopping with us, we're going to need to get that info. And the best way to do that is to email us at fjccshow@gmail.com. Also, if you want, follow us on Instagram at the FJC Paradox. Let's think what else.
Say hi to Zane.
Oh, Zanin, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Zanin, was there something I wanted to tell you? I was waiting to. If it comes to me, it comes to me. Yes. If anyone, for whatever reason, if you are unable to interact in the chat, or you needed to talk to us a little bit more personally, or God forbid, if there's any technical issues on our end or on your end, we need to correct them as quick as possible. So you can please call us at 215-963-0788, and we'll figure out what to do. Is there anything else I'm not thinking of? The one thing that we do to try to keep this from completely spiraling into the abyss is no matter what we're doing or talking about, if there's anything up here that you were interested in, curious about, have questions, or want to claim because you just don't feel like waiting for us to finish whatever, weird thing we're talking about, hit us up in the chat. Al will take a note of all of the priorities, and we will take care of them in order.
Get those notes.
Yeah.
Get those notes.
Plus, got to make Al work. You know, he's got to pay attention to something. Yeah.
Except for my rambling on the back end.
Well, Jason, he provides color. You know, he's the color commentator of our little trio here, a little triptych.
I can't work and watch everybody's Instagram pages. Make up your mind.
That is right. That is right. All right. So what we're going to do is obviously we'll take care of priorities first. But in terms of order, we'll show off some of these very interesting, a couple of them are really pretty, but interesting metal variants from Dynamite Comics. And then we'll talk a little bit about, I've recently read the Suicide Squad Get Joker series. I would like to, kind of show that off. We have a couple signed books that we're, we'll kind of show off, especially one that I really enjoyed. Anyone who watched the local show, you heard me talk about how much I've loved the Catwoman Lonely series by Cliff Chiang, series that has been going on. The final issue comes out in August, so we'll see that. We have a few Marvel stuff, a couple fun little different things, but we also have some more underground comics, and we have a couple more we can bring out. We'll also talk, we did a lot of our speculation during the local show, so most of that stuff is gone. But if anyone is interested in some Secret Wars book from the Jonathan Hickman Assad Ribic series that is not issue 0, 1, or 6, let us know. We might be able to help you out. And we'll also talk about, because it's still trending, the Jackson Hyde Aquaman keys that are heating up as we're getting more and more confirmation on Charlize Theron's production company developing an Aquaman Jackson Hyde series for HBO Max. Yes.
So interesting.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Okay, let me real quick, before we really dive into everything, let me get my notes out. I spent all this time doing research and putting notes together, and then I never look at them. And it's just one of those things, So let me just make sure, because like that Marvel Chillers, didn't I write something down about that? And of course, I can't find any of my notes. I'm the most ill-prepared person.
Were you there when you wrote the notes?
I no. All right, no, I lost them. It's no big deal.
Go on.
All right, so
Do it live.
let's make it up as we go. I will literally make up anything to sell a book. I have no shame. Wait until I get into it now. All right, so the priority was the Marvel Chillers.
Yeah, Mr. Benjamin.
Okay, yep, sure. Here we go. Marvel Chillers number 5. This is a fine minus copy at $5. You get Tigra, you get Red Wolf, and here we go, folks. The first appearance of the Rat Pack. That's right, folks. Frank Sinatra puts on a beard and a long hippie wig. Sammy Davis Jr. dresses up in a weird mask, and Dean Martin himself puts on drag. And there you go. First appearance of the Rat Pack in Marvel Comics, being a bunch of villains.
That's awesome. I'm buying that if that's the case.
Right? Yeah. They're just, what, you don't believe me?
Not really.
Yeah. What? Have I ever lied to anybody here on this show?
I've known you for 100 years. Of course I have.
Thank you, Al. I really appreciate that. They don't call you Aldonis for nothing. No. So there we go. Marvel Chillers featuring Tigra the Werewoman with an appearance by Red Wolf. And again, no lie here, the Rat Pack. There you go. First appearance of that cool team. In fact, if I had found this issue before this afternoon, I would have worn the shirt. Yeah. Because, there's Sam, Mr. Sam Melendez. He's up there, I don't know what that says, that still the black man, Sammy Davis and Sam Melendez, putting on the mask. What's that about? Anyway, nothing like Frank Sinatra, though, wearing a big old hippie wig and a beard, and Dean Martin in drag. How drunk do you think Dean Martin was? Yeah, probably like really drunk. One of the funniest things ever. What was it? Cannonball Run? That has the Dean Martin and Sammy Davis as the priest. The priest. And man, Dean Martin so loaded. Like, how many takes where it just got to the point where Dean Martin couldn't say words? Because even in the movie, he is just so obviously barely holding it together. Anyway, Marvel Chillers number 5, fine minus at $5. No, it's just Dean Martin and Sammy Davis.
What's the one where they like get to the end of the race and it ends up being like Sinatra is like the head of everything, and it's like Cannonball Run 2, maybe. It's like one of those kind of movies, and it ends up being like it's his cameo and he's like the dude that they're all trying to get to.
Yeah, because my memory, I mean, it could be Cannonball, but I don't remember that. Cannonball. Which one had Jackie Chan? The first Cannonball Run or the second?
The second.
The second Cannonball?
I was going to say first, but I don't really? You know what? Jackie Chan knows it.
I think it was the first. I think Jason's wrong. Because it just makes sense.
That seems right, that you wouldn't know about it.
But the first that's right.
Why am I listening?
Wait. The moment Jason says Cannonball Run 2 is the moment that we know for a fact it's Cannonball Run, the original.
I'm smoking a bandit.
You know what? I'm looking it up.
That sweet. What do we got?
The Aqualad.
Yes. Okay. All right. So here we go. We have had the first appearance on the show before.
The first one.
There you go.
There we go. I think we've established a trope on this show.
We'll crack the code.
Whatever Jason says as a movie trivia answer, go with the opposite. That's probably the right answer.
You know what, Gary? I said I was looking up. You didn't have to prove me wrong, too.
All right. So we've definitely had the first appearance on the show before. We do have a couple copies. I think we only sold like maybe 1 or 2. But we have 2 left out of the small little group that I found. And that first appearance of Jackson Hyde, again, for anyone who might not be familiar or didn't watch the show a week or 2 ago when we talked about this, Jackson Hyde was the new Aqualad that was introduced in the sequel series to The Blackest Night. That was called, shock, Brightest Day. And this series was all about bringing back certain heroes. By the end of the series, you get the return of Hawkman, the return of Hawk and Dove, the return of Swamp Thing. There's a few other characters that were brought back from the dead. But the other big thing was you got Batman as the White Lantern. Some people dig that. And you get the first appearance of a character by the name of Deathstorm, which is the antithetical villain version of Firestorm. And the reason why that is slightly relevant to anyone who maybe watches more TV than reads comics, Deathstorm played a big role in season 8 of The Flash. But again, the big thing about Brightest Day, or in terms of what is becoming the big thing from that series, is the first appearance of Jackson Hyde, the Sun of Black Manta, the one of the main big villains of Aquaman. And not only do you get the introduction of Jackson Hyde, he will later be revealed to have elemental powers, and then he will become the second Aqualad before later on, in terms of recent books, he has become Aquaman. And more importantly, and we're not going to get into a big thing about this, I'm not here, but a big deal for certain demographics is the fact that he was also revealed to be gay. And, for some people, that's a very big deal. I think it's a big deal, but I have enough people crawling down my throat that I'm pushing my agenda too much. So, let me not get too upset about that. People are entitled to their opinions. They're wrong, but they're entitled to the opinions. But anyway, the reason why the Jackson Hyde character has become very relevant is because Charlize Theron's production company is in the process of developing an original graphic novel that I can never remember the title for. We only love the ocean, only in the ocean. Anyway, and that graphic novel stars Jackson Hyde as Aquaman. And again, a lot of his cultural aspects are important to the narrative, which is why I am pointing them out. Not to make a point, but to acknowledge narrative significance. All right. So that show is being developed for HBO Max, a la Warner Brothers, things of that nature. And Charlize Theron is back in the news over the past week because of, spoiler, a cameo she has in a big movie that's out right now. I won't go any further than that. And so because of that, the speculation market is diving even deeper into possible relevant keys to the Jackson Hyde character.
3 movies were released this week.
Hey, people can figure it out, okay? They don't need me to point it out. All right, so here we go. Let's talk about, let me first get my notes here to make sure. Parker, I can't pet your, wait, hold on. I got to pet my dog's belly real quick.
Pet break, hold on.
You're such a good sweetie. I love you so much. Okay, so first up is the first appearance of Jackson Hyde. That is Brightest Day number 4. He would become the second Aqualad and then later become the second Aquaman. Also, first cover appearance of Deathstorm. All right. Now, this is a high-grade copy at $20, but this is a book that is in that $30-ish range right now. I don't know if it's going to remain there, but I do believe a $20 kind of price tag is probably what this book is going to settle close to until the show actually comes out, and then who knows what happens after that. Next up, in terms of an issue that is relevant to the character, Jackson Hyde, this is Brightest Day number 9. This is the issue where Jackson Hyde is revealed to have elemental powers. This is a high-grade copy at only $5. I know, sweetie, don't whine. It's okay. And then, next up, Brightest Day number 11. Now, this issue has nothing to do with Jackson Hyde. It's a high-grade copy at $5, but this issue is technically the first appearance of Deathstorm. All right, so we got his cover appearance that happened a few issues prior, but this is the issue where he actually shows up as an actual appearance. Yeah, there we go. So that's Brightest Day number 11, high grade, $5. And then we get issue number 16. Now, this is a high grade copy at $5. Out of all of the other, outside of his first appearance, this is the issue that might actually get some real traction going on, because this is the origin of Jackson Hyde. This is the issue you find out that Black Manta is his father, and this is the issue where he dons the Aqualad suit and becomes Aqualad for the first time. Up until this moment, he was still just, teenage boy. He was an Aqua. Well, he wasn't Aqua anything yet.
Aqua guy.
He found out he had powers in that issue number 9. And then, he goes to Aquaman for help, and you find out his origin, and he becomes, for the first time, Aqualad. So there we go. Brightest Day, number 16, high grade, $5. And just because it's fun, this is the variant. I believe this was a 1 in 10 variant of Brightest Day number 16. And this is a high grade copy at $8. So still the same, issue 16, origin of Jackson Hyde. Jackson Hyde dons and becomes Aqualad for the first time. But this is a variant, so it's a couple bucks more. So there you go. And just because, it's our show, so we can do whatever we want. Brightest Day number 24 variant, the return of Swamp Thing, which I am a big fan of, and the return of John Constantine as being a relevant force in the mainstream DC universe. Brightest Day number 24, the 1 in 10 variant at $8. All right, so those are our Brightest Day books. Let us know if you have any questions, and we'll take care of that. Other than that, Al, any priorities before we move on to some other stuff? Okay, so first off, we are going to talk about a very unique variant. All right. Now, I want to let's just throw it out there right now. These retail, and we are selling them for. So sorry, no big sale cuts or anything like that. They're unique, and I want to give the owner of these books an opportunity to recoup costs and things of that nature. So these books retail for $100. Now, if you sit there and go, "Whoa, $100, man, that's crazy." Well, these variants are extremely unique because. So obviously, I'll show them off, but I'm just kind of setting it up. All right. So here, it's all of these. So these first 3 rows and these 3 issues here are the metal variants. Now, just so we're clear, we're not talking metal. All right. We're talking literal sheets of metal. That's what these covers are. Like I had to use Silver Age.
Hold one up.
Could you imagine?
Put it against your chest, though.
If I had $100 extra just to buy one for you to do that, just to watch people's like buttholes pucker, I would. But I don't have $100.
Hold it right from our face.
Yes. Oh, like there's kids down in Florida that accidentally murdered each other because they were testing body armor.
Well, body armor doesn't stop knives. Just so everybody knows, ballistic vests do not stop knives.
Or how about
they don't always stop bullets.
They don't stop bullets either.
Especially
if your buddy is standing 5 feet from you and shoots you point blank. Okay.
Yeah. Depends on
Anyway,
the round.
that's
yeah.
All right.
Sides to it.
All right. Let's not get derailed. All right. Let's not get derailed. All right. So again, the reason why I used Silver Age bags and boards because they're a little wider is because if you put these, they're so like. Not sharp, like dangerous, but they will mess up a bag and board when you're sliding them in if it's too tight because they're very unforgiving. Because like I said, these are literal sheets of metal, all right? So that glare isn't chromium. That's not holofoil. That is actual metal. Now, what metal? I don't know. Maybe an aluminum. Yeah.
I thought it would be.
Yeah, these are not covers that are going to damage easily, that's for sure. And not just that, but to kind of make them pretty unique, they're a series of them. I'll show them all off in a moment. We have homages to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, the original 1983 series. I imagine most of you recognize. Now, I don't know how the glare comes off with the metal. The metal is obviously very shiny. Oh, does it? Okay, because I can't see anything.
There is a short reflection.
All right.
It's not
Cool. No one can see it, but Parker right now is humping me. So. All right, Parker, get down, baby girl. You're very sweet. All right, so that first one we showed was the Vampirella.
It's just about time for.
Oh, it is? Okay, how about this? Yeah, let's do a commercial, and when we come back, we will talk about all of these variants we got up here.
Thanks for tuning into The Experience. Help us out and hit subscribe over on YouTube, and click the bell when you do. Need some help? Scan the QR code in the bottom corner. Who would win, Batman or Superman? It's the age-old debate, except it's so much more complicated than that. Nerd Killer Warfare every week on The Experience is your chance to debate other nerds in the questions we've all been asking for years, except we take those debates and turn them up to 11. Go to bit.ly/EXP casting or scan the QR code to be part of the show.
Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
You having fun, Parker? She's playing with her ball. She's having a good time. Better than, I guess, humping me, I guess. You know. Break my heart, bro. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. We're here to do some stuff. So
Sell some stuff.
I don't know. There are these moments where, like,
Learn some stuff.
my mind is running like 4 or 5 steps ahead, and I'm trying to think of the right way to segue into things, how to like spruce stuff up, make things all exciting and sexy, and at the same time not say anything that's too offensive or controversial. So I'm back at it. So here we go. Metal variants from Dynamite Comics. So again, we're doing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 homage covers. This was the Vampirella that we showed off. And then next up, we have, and again, I just want to reiterate these all retail for $100. They are very unique, special variants. Here is the Evil Ernie cover. I let everyone get an eyeful there. And then we have the series NYX.
Those are Knicks.
Nyx. Like, do you know what this series is about?
Knicks.
Nyx? I know there's like
It's a lady.
zombie. It's a sexy lady.
It's a lady that
Like makes out with zombies.
I think there's only been a couple issues. Like it's not.
It's pretty new.
Done. Yeah,
You think it's like a finished series?
I think so. It was like a miniseries.
You know what's the worst thing about what I'm doing right now?
She's part of Vampirilla's universe.
Oh,
Kyle.
that-
Yeah.
Thanks, Kyle. The best part about or the worst part about this is I forgot to write down which issues these actually are.
Oh, I have.
So I think this might be Nyx #4.
That's Knicks.
But I'm pretty sure if you're buying this, you're not buying it because you really need that issue for your collection. You're buying it because you want this unique variant.
It's a really neat cover.
That's actually #1.
Oh, this is #1. Okay.
They're not all number.
Okay. Do you know what the Vampirella is?
The Vampirillas are all number 25.
Oh, okay. So all of the metal Vampirella variants.
So all the- yeah.
Okay, they're 25. How about the Evil Ernie?
Evil Ernie's #1.
Oh, okay. Evil Ernie's #1.
That's the first one.
Okay. How about the next one I'm gonna show off? Purgatory.
Purgatory's issue #2.
Okay, so it's Purgatory #2. But again, I'm pretty sure the selling point of these $100 variants are the cover. I have a feeling most of you might not even read what's going on in there, but that's okay. You can get yourself. We got some copies of Purgatory #2 and Nyx #1 and Vampirella #25. But again, the real selling point of these variants is those wild metal.
I'll tell you what. If we have the issue and you purchase it, you get the issue, the regular standard issue for free.
Sure, we'll go looking for it.
I've never heard of Army of Darkness. What's that?
Oh, this is Army of Darkness, 1979, issue 3. Do all of them have the actual issue number and I just don't read? No, this one has it though. But there you go, Army of Darkness. In fact, Army of Darkness is back in the social media kind of zeitgeist because some people have accused Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, as Sam Raimi conning Marvel to allow him to do Evil Dead 4 / Army of Darkness 2.
Well,
Having not seen the movie, I can't speak on that.
Wait.
He directed it, and
Wait.
it feels like, from what I've heard,
Stop.
if you don't like Sam Raimi's style, you're not going to like it.
So-
if you like Sam Raimi, you're going to like it.
Spider-Man, the same Raimi Spider-Man, he did the same thing. He's not. This is not new to
No,
him.
but I hear this
But-
is even more.
But
I
apparently,
gotta
Bruce
watch
Campbell.
Doctor Strange.
In fact,
Really,
I was
Bruce
told.
Campbell is in the movie.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell is in the movie.
So-
And I was told by a very good friend, if you want the best experience of the Doctor Strange movie, IMAX 3D, and don't microdose. Don't.
So obviously, this is not FetchX Comics telling you.
No, this is Brendan. Oh, yeah. Just so we're clear, because we haven't said it in a while, anything that is spoken on the show does not represent FetchX Comicrypt, does not represent the comic shopping experience, does not represent any of the publishers of the books here. It just represents these three idiots. Okay?
Come talk to us.
There's talk that Darkman's going to be another Sam Raimi property going back.
All right, let's see that.
I love Darkman.
Yeah. In fact, there was a meme going around, and it was an image of Sam Raimi, and he's standing at a door, and Kevin Feige is at the door, and Sam Raimi has this huge Trojan horse, and the sign on the Trojan horse's neck is Doctor Strange 2, but in the inside of the horse is Army of Darkness 2. So, I don't know. I got a kick out of it. All right, so the Vampirella, Evil Army, Nyx, Purgatory, Army of Darkness, 1979. And now we move on to the Barbarella metal variant. And this is Barbarella number 5. The numbers are...
No, it's not on all.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
I swore I looked, and I was like, I don't know what number this is. All right, so it's Barbarella number 5, the metal variant. It's kind of cool. They also have these like kind of images up in the title itself. All right, and then we get the Invincible Red Sonja issue number 6. There's the sweet metal variant. There we go. All right, and the last of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1 homage metal variant is Jennifer Blood number 3. There you go. Jennifer Blood, who loves shooting ninjas. So it kind of fits more into the Ninja Turtles homage, right? There we go. And again, all of these retail for $100. Now we move on to 3 metal variants that homage Amazing Spider-Man 300. So first up is Red Sonja number 4. There we go. If you don't recognize this homage, I don't know if you read comics. I don't know if you've been paying attention the past few years.
I wonder why they picked. I don't know. I just wonder why they picked those covers. Like why is there so many 300 covers? Like why?
Well, because I think
was it an anniversary of the month of the release or something?
I think it's.
Or is it just like?
I'm just speculating, but for whatever reason, and I don't know this, but Amazing 300 and TMNT 1 over the past year or two have definitely been like going up in value. So in terms of big keys with famous covers, it makes sense. Like I could definitely see the logic behind going with those kinds of aesthetics.
Thank you, Duke.
Oh, Duke's grabbing what?
He's going to take Red Sonja number 4.
All right, Duke. Good stuff, man. There you go. Red Sonja number 4. There we are. All right. Duke coming in hot. Now, the second of the Amazing Spider-Man 300 homages is Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, number 2. With a nice little green cover. There you go. Parker's desperately trying to get Jason to pay attention to her.
I pet you.
Oh, now she's laying down. Good girl. What
Gave up.
a good girl. God, I love this dog. The moment she doesn't exist anymore, you're never going to see me again. Like, the show's over.
I'm gone.
Yeah, I'm letting everybody know. The moment she's not around anymore, I'm gone. You'll never see me again. Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, number 2. With another little sweet Amazing Spider-Man 300 homage. And the last of the 300, we have Evil Ernie number 1. There you go, using a chain as a web.
I don't think this will stop a knife, but it might stop a box cutter.
I can see that. Yeah. What do you think this metal is? You think it's like aluminum?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's got a little bit of...
Platinum. It's platinum.
Oh, no!
It's such a bargain.
Right. There you go.
Down. Sell the book.
Evil Army #1. All right. Now,
It's got to be
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we have 7 more metal variants, but we're now past the homage covers, and we're now into some of these are really unique imagery. In fact, a few customers just today were really interested in some of these. Now, the price tag was a little, they didn't have the scratch, let's say, but it definitely caught their eye. So aesthetically speaking, these are pretty neat. So next up is, I believe, another variant of Vampirella number 25. And this is the Just Buried variant. So Vampirella is driving this car with her butt. She's quite drunk on blood wine. And she's being really inconsiderate to all the dead people in their tombstones. But hey, man, she's having a good time. And when a woman looks that striking, you put up with it. There you go. All right, and then we get. I'm pretty sure again this is Vampirella 25. I think all the Vampirellas are 25. But this is the next variant. Now, I don't think that these are the Stray Dogs, but it kind of...
It's Stray Dogs artist.
Is that the artist?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right, good eye, Al. Cool.
It's Fleets and Forest.
Ah, nice. All right, well, that's pretty cool. So this is a little Vampirella sort of maybe Stray Dogs crossover. That's kind of cool. So there we go. Vampirella and some dogs hanging out on a piece of metal.
Very sharp piece of metal.
And then we get, now this one's pretty cool. Who's this artist? So familiar, but it's pretty sweet looking Vampirella. Again, this is, all the Vampirellas are issue number 25. It's just varying different kinds of variant covers. And again, sheets of metal.
Is that the...
Literal sheets of metal.
That's the Perillo Virgin. Perillo.
That's Perillo?
Or it's the Mayor Virgin or the Best Virgin. There's 3 Virgin colors.
It's not Perillo, because that's Perillo's style.
Oh, there is.
We'll get to that one. That's the one that people...
That's Perillo right there.
Yeah, that's the one everyone freaked out about today. But this is just cool. Like, it's got a little bit of like a manga-esque style. It's just cool. She looks smoking hot. All right. And then we get, this is not a Vampirella. This is is this Hell Sonia? And this is Perillo. That's Perillo.
That is Hell Sonia.
Okay.
Wait, that's not. No. I don't know what
No?
it is. Wait, nah.
Is it a red?
That's not on my list.
Oh, okay. But it is Red Sonia, but she definitely looks like the Hell Sonia version. She's got the devil horns. Her gorgeous red hair is a bunch of flames. And she's got devil wings. And she's got a devil tail. So there's something going on there. Again, if you're buying this book, you're buying it for the cover. Maybe not.
Okay, so the other one was Rose Besh. Thank you, Kyle.
Rose Besh, thank you.
Right.
All right, very cool. It's a very cool image. But this is Perillo. Perillo, who's, if you're looking for valuable, like, Vampirella comics, specifically in regards to the covers, it's the Perillo covers. Those are the ones that everyone's looking for. But there you go. A Hell Sonia Esh. I said Esh instead of S. Oh, man. It gets away. I have jury duty tomorrow. I have to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning just to go. On my only day off, by the way.
In Center City, too?
Well, of course. I got to go to the down in Filbert. You know? Yes.
Take a quick
Oh, it's another break?
Break time.
All right. Break time.
Did you know that every experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out. Twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code.
This is The Experience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey there, hi there, ho there. You're as welcome as can be.
Hi, I'm Nancy McCann. Welcome to Friday Night Live on The Experience.
Welcome everybody to Fat Jack's Comicrypt. Brendan, Al, Jason, hanging out.
There I am. Welcome back to Kicking It with Henry, folks. I am your host, Henry Copeland. It's great to be here with you guys.
So we are going to talk about books that are in stores this week.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mishmash.
Hello, and welcome to the Black Comics Universe, presented by Peep Game Comics.
And you gotta love it that the first people in the minute to skim it are creators.
Up, everybody! Welcome to another Wednesday Warriors. My name is Joey Galvez, and this is my pal Ambrosia.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Space Cadet.
Hey!
What's up?
Welcome, everyone, for another episode of I Must Ask You a Question.
Hi, everybody, welcome to Nerd News Now.
Hey, this is Rex. Welcome to Comic Collectibles.
Hey, hello, all you happy people. Welcome to the Dan Wickline Show.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the crazy show that we do on Thursdays called What's in the Box? What's in the Box?
Comic culture and sales.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? All right, so let's quickly run through the last of the metal variants, so we can move on to some of the other science stuff and move on to some other books. Again, if there's anything up here you're interested in that we're not talking about, please let Al know. And like I said, we will always prioritize the audience over whatever we're doing here. So next up, this is Nyx. I think this is Nyx. Yeah. Nyx number 1. So here is Nyx number 1. That's another metal variant, but it's not an homage. That's an original piece.
That's Besh as well.
Oh, it's Besh. Okay. All right, cool. Dynamite definitely does have some interesting cover artists. I mean, wasn't Dynamite the one that really introduced us to Peach Momoko? I think, yeah.
That's our first
Yeah. So Dynamite definitely is, kind of it's out there looking for some next gen artists. This is not Perillo. This is Hammond. It's a cool cover.
Yeah,
it's got this really. This is a Vampirella 25. Another one of but Mayor? Mayu? No.
Mayor.
It almost looks like it says Shannon.
Unless that was in the box.
Does it say Shannon? Does anything have a Shannon? It's just a really. I just think like aesthetically, and I really like that purple kind of background color.
I mean, it might be Shannon Mayer.
Oh, Shannon Mayer. Okay. You would think that we do prep before the show. And if you think that, then you're a fool.
After the other side.
Every now and again. So people have heard me say this. I have never, ever, ever rewatched a show that we have done. Ever. And yet there are times where I'm very afraid that if I were to rewatch it, I'd be like, we gotta stop. We are just like, it's embarrassing.
I stopped watching.
Okay, all right, that's telling. Yes.
Not for sale. And not for
Oh,
sale.
no. This is our friend. That's Chuck, man. Chuck Palahniuk.
Not sell that.
Just like I'll never sell my first print Fight Club signed by Chuck Palahniuk, or the beautiful costume jewelry necklace he made out of all of his late mother's jewelry. And I never sent him a thank you note because I'm a terrible person. So also a pandemic happened. And so, even though that makes it sound worse because I had a lot more time,
I'm nothing to do. I sat at home, but I'm not right.
No, but this is even before Jason showed up, even before Parker. Chuck actually even exists before you showed up. Yeah, so Chuck's been with me the whole time. Without Chuck, I don't know. Would I still be here? And finally, last but definitely not least, another Vampirella 25 metal variant, but more importantly, another Perillo cover. And this is the one that a couple heads earlier today really got excited about. Just a very beautiful, moody cover. Vampirella looking as dark and sexy as she normally does. Again, I'm not trying to objectify you, Vampirella. I'm just saying you have a presence, let's call it. That sounds a little appropriate. So there we go. Another gorgeous Perillo cover of Vampirella, the alien vampire. Everyone forgets Vampirella is actually from outer space.
Shout out to Christopher Priest who wrote that series.
Oh, this is the series he wrote.
I think that's the final issue of the series, and it ties into.
Oh, right. This isn't Vampirella 25, right? Or it is?
It is.
Oh, okay. Does it tie into the new Vampirella series that just started?
I think so, because wasn't 25, I think she marries Dracula, where they get together.
Okay.
And then the new Unholy is like, it's the two of them.
Interesting.
I believe, I haven't read.
All right.
And
don't hold us to it, please.
Whatever, it's got a metal cover.
You know what's funny? You know what this reminds me of? Do you guys remember the snap bracelets?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if this is an urban legend or not, but do you remember when people would talk about how it started cutting kids' wrists and they were dying from it? Right. Looking back now, I'm going to say that never happened.
No. Because you cut down the road, not across the street.
Well,
right?
Yeah, because if you're like snapping it, you'll get a nick. You'll get a little, an NYX,
That would have hurt if you did that
and then pulled it down your
8 times in a row. Yeah, maybe.
I like those things.
Paper cuts all the way. It's all.
Do you guys remember that scene in World Tenenbaums with Luke Wilson's character?
Oh.
When he cut all his hair off and shaved his beard and then did another thing, and they showed it, and it was
I did that.
All right. Well, let's not get too morbid. Well, what am I talking about? We're selling Vampirella comics and Helsonia. We get a little morbid, right? All right. So if anyone has any questions, there are our gorgeous Dynamite Comics metal variants. We got our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 homage covers. We got our Amazing Spider-Man 300 homage covers. And then we have a bunch of beautiful original artwork done for Vampirella, Nyx, and the Helsonia is gone. So we want to bring that one up. All right. So next we're going to move on to the last 3 kind of unique books. They're not variants, but they are signed books. Do we remember?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. All right. So first up, actually, do you remember who signed this one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I know the other 2, but this one I actually forgot. All right. So first up, as Al looks to see who the signatures. Oh wait, it's right here on the back.
What do you have? Oh, you got.
Dynamite Entertainment has issued the certificate to authenticate this copy of Panther #1 Atlas Comics Signature Series Edition as one of a specially limited series of copies signed by Tom Snegoski? Okay, and G9? How do you pronounce it? Janine? Look at that. It's like Gene and a 9.
Janine.
It's Janine? Oh my God, I feel like an idiot. Atkinson. All right.
Janine was 9.
There you go. So not only, you get this beautiful book signed by both people, and you get the official Dynamic Forces sticker with the official Dynamite Entertainment Certificate of Authenticity. So unlike other signed books that we've had, we actually do have a certificate of authenticity instead of you just believing us when we tell you we're pretty sure that Bernie Wrightson signed House of Secrets #92.
So stop talking about that book.
But I'll say this. that was the beginning.
I know.
That was truly the beginning where we realized we have to take this a little bit more seriously.
What's crazy is that book, we probably could have sold it for more even if we signed it.
Yeah, I know.
It was a fake signature.
I know.
bought a broken one.
I know. For a few $100s. It was insane. Yes.
So the Panther is $39.99.
$39.99. Okay. Is that an introductory price?
That's actually an introductory price. It retails for $49.99. Unfortunately, only a few books get the introductory price. That's just how it is.
Is this also an introductory price? This Evil Ernie?
It is.
All right.
Same deal with that. $49.99.
And we're selling it for $39.99. All right. So here we go. Dynamite Entertainment has issued this certificate to authenticate this copy of Evil Ernie #1 Atlas Comics Signature Series Edition as one of a specially limited series of copies signed by Scott Lobdell.
I really wish I could do like the knife guy voice.
I know.
Like from the guy. $39.99. Here we go. And we sell down
Wait. Is it really raspy?
Oh, yeah.
He sound like this. He did a little. Baseball cards too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sign Evil Ernie #1. Signed by Scott Lobdell.
It's like you said Scott Lobdell. We got Scott Lobdell here. I mean, we got Scott Lobdell.
Funniest Jason moment so far. That you came out of nowhere, man. That's good for you, dude. You made my night, man. All right, there we go. Evil Ernie #1, the Atlas Comics Signature Series, signed right there by Scott Lobdell. And like I said, you get the official. Oh no, that's not the Dynamic Forces sticker. That's the Dynamite Entertainment. That's new. Dynamite Entertainment.
So these are not Dynamic Forces stuff.
No, is that also? Did I get that wrong?
That
is Dynamic Forces sticker. Do you want to go get the? Hey, Dynamic Forces, if you're looking for more stickers, we have some in the back. We were trying to figure out if we could somehow sell them. But you also get the certificate of authenticity, and hey, you even get a barcode. I guess they're better.
They're not. These aren't numbered. So I don't know why there's.
No, these are not numbered.
So out of the two books, out of the two signed books, these are the only two that weren't.
They weren't numbered.
I think it's because this Atlas comic must have been this.
Oh, it was like part of like a series or something. Again, something we probably should have figured out before we tried to sell them, so we could give appropriate information.
These are also. Mr. Lyon has a question for you.
Yes, Gary. What's the question?
JLA Classified. Is it any good?
Well, I mean, JLA Classified. If we're talking about the series that came out in like the mid 2000s and ran until about like the early 2010, it was an anthology series. So really, the quality varies on how much you like certain writers or certain artists. Like, no shock here, but the first 3 issues of JLA Classified was by Grant Morrison and Ed McGuinness. Where they introduced it was a story about the Ultramarines that were originally introduced in Grant Morrison's JLA. And the story does tie into Grant Morrison's JLA and his overarching DC meta story. So for me personally, JLA Classified 1 through 3 are excellent. But you also get a really interesting Warren Ellis series in that run where the JLA like go to hell. It's sort of like imagine JLA mixed with Event Horizon. It's kind of like that. I'm trying to think. There was some other. I think Joe Lansdale and Tim Truman did an interesting Hawkman and Hawkgirl, like 2 or 3 issue stories. So when you think of JLA Classified, think of like Legends of the Dark Knight. They were usually 3 to 5 issue stories, written and illustrated by different creative teams. Focusing on different characters. So, it varies, but there were some stories during that run that I personally really enjoyed. I've known other people like some. In fact, at one point, I'm pretty sure we had almost an entire run of JLA Classified, all as story bundles, kind of separated by each story. So, there you go. That's, yeah. Okay, next up. This was, all right, let's just show this off first. All right, this is Catwoman, Lonely City. I won't get into it too much, but I was fortunate. There you go. I was fortunate enough to be able to read the first 3 issues of this series, written and illustrated by Cliff Chiang. Issue 4 comes out in August, and I have to say, I loved it. I genuinely thought it was excellent. It's like sort of like Catwoman's Dark Knight Returns. Like it's a mid-50-something-year-old Catwoman who gets out of jail. Gotham is kind of like America now. Very divided by the haves and the have-nots, and extremely divided by cultural and political wars that only seem to exist in our minds, but people in power seem to keep perpetuating so as to keep us at each other's throats while not actually turning on the real people who are messing up our lives. Every politician and corporate CEO. All right. So, Catwoman, Lonely City, let's call it topical. It's very topical and a ton of fun. Plus, it's one of my favorite genres, getting the team together and doing a big heist. So, big fan.
Oversized Cliff Chiang art.
Yes. Oh, and Cliff Chiang's art, just beautiful. Wonderful artist. I really first... I liked this stuff before, but it was Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang when they did Wonder Woman for New 52, where I was really like, yo, this dude's really good. And then his work on Paper Girls is exceptional. And he's been lucky enough to move on. And I've got to say, he's turned out to be a pretty good storyteller. Let's see what he does going forward. Some people have one good story in them, but hopefully Cliff's got a couple more. And I really hope he sticks to landing because these first 3 issues were excellent. But what makes this one special and also valued at $49.99 is because Cliff Chiang signs it right there. And it's 21 out of 50. All right, so there's only 50 of these signed, and this is the 21st. And you got it, certificate of authenticity. So that is proof that this was signed and numbered in front of somebody. There you go. Wonderful series. All right. So there we go. So that's all of our, that's all of the Dynamite variants that we have right now.
Yeah, so expect more in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
We have a lot to go through, and then still have other stuff to go through because of the underground books that we got in. There's just a lot to go.
Yeah, there's a lot to go through, and there's a few people who are here who are qualified to go through.
Shout out to Aaron if he's watching. Everybody come in, meet Aaron, new hire.
Yeah, good dude, man.
Seems like a nice guy. I haven't really met him. I met him like twice.
All right. Hey, that's more than Mike can say about Tom.
There you go, Mike. Yeah, shout out to Tom if he's watching. What's up, Tom?
Love you, Tom. Miss you, buddy.
You got a Starboy comic up there?
I have a Starboy. Okay. All right. So, it's not a big story, but it's a fun story. It's a quick one. All right. Let me get my notes real quick because okay, here we go. So here we have, the pop star, let's call him a pop star. He's definitely not a hip hop star, that's for sure. He's a pop star. Okay. He's more akin to, he's like a more cocaine-infused Taylor Swift than a Chuck D or a Nas or a Biggie, All right, so we're talking about the pop star The Weeknd, and that's Weekend ND, so no E in the end. All right, there we go. Was that my computer? Yeah. That's where that noise comes from? That's not like Kyle trying to be like, yo.
I feel like he's sending messages.
No, because Kyle would talk or send you a text. Anyway, let's keep this going. All right, so Weeknd got involved with Marvel Comics to produce a comic book series which went along with his Starboy album. So it was a concept album, and he wanted to do a comic book series. Just so we're clear, this was supposed to be a series that only got 1 issue. And I'll tell you why it only got 1 issue. Now, this is a book that right now is going for about $20-ish on the open market, okay, the secondary market. Our copy is a high grade at only $12, purely because I don't know how many people are really going to care about this anecdote, but I'm going to share it anyway. The Weekend presents Starboy number 1. This is a high grade copy at $12, and here's the little story. In 2018, The Weeknd was sued for $5 million by a gentleman by the name of, and I apologize for butchering this name, Ayman Talazazan, who claimed he presented an idea to Marvel that was stolen by the musician to create not only his concept album, but this series. Now, as far as we're aware, as in 2022, the case has not been resolved. But because of the lawsuit, this series, which was supposed to be at least 4 to 6 issues, only got to put out 1 issue. And because of that, and because of the fame and popularity of the pop star of The Weeknd, this book has become something of a collector's item. So I imagine the person who inquired about this book might be interested in claiming it. So if that is the case, I'm going to now pass this back to Al, and I hope whoever claimed it enjoys their very unique, rare at this point, Weekend comic book. I hope they're a big fan. You know.
I don't know if you or anybody know. Because I meant to ask this earlier when we had the hip hop covers collection comic.
Okay.
But I had heard originally that the hip hop covers, like the homage covers, were done by like an artist collective in New York, and that Marvel kind of co-opted it and then made it their own. Now, I don't know if that's the case. I remember reading an article about years ago, and I didn't see actual pictures of the original art. So if anybody knows the story about it, I'm just curious. It was a group of artists in New York who just kind of did it for fun.
Yes.
And then Marvel got wind of it and was like, yeah. Now, I'm assuming that that's the case.
You know what's funny?
Because it sounds right.
I'm going to assume with you, because I don't think Marvel
would come up with something
is sitting there going, you know what we really need to do? We really need to tap into the hip-hop market.
Like, so it's just been going on for
Let's be honest, artists their entire lives have done creative ideas, and then corporations come along, see what they're doing, and then co-opt it. Mm-hmm. That is just what corporations, because if there's one thing I know about corporate personalities is they have no imagination, and they're anything but creative, which is why they like to take advantage. They like to diminish the creative market and the creative individuals, so they don't have to pay them.
Well, so the funny thing about that is that the hardcover that came out with all of the hip hop covers didn't have any of the originals in there because they didn't want to pay the licensing for the original covers. There you go. So I mean,
why do we promote this?
Shout out to Marvel if they're watching.
Why do we? I have so much philosophical issues with all this, and yet. It's again, we're Fat Jacks, keeping the lights on.
This is the halftime guy, right? Yeah. He did a halftime at Super Bowl?
Yeah. No. The Weeknd.
2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
This was when he's run through the mirrors and stuff like that.
I didn't see it. Right, well,
he was running through the mirrors? Or running past mirrors?
Halfway of mirrors.
If he was just running through mirrors? Dude!
You know what? Again, one time game.
Yo, real quick, I want to recreate the halftime show, except it's that scene in is it End of the Dragon with all the mirrors? Except instead of fighting next to the mirrors, it's The Weeknd running through mirrors. And the best part is, none of them are breakaway glass.
He just bounces off him.
And so, the end of the scene is all of the EMTs rushing out.
No, the EMTs getting jacked up because they can't find their way to him.
Okay, real quick, a dumb little childhood anecdote. Okay, if you see something happen in a movie or a TV show, don't replicate it, okay? Because I knew a kid who I guess really liked the idea of people running through glass, getting thrown through glass, all that kind of stuff. So him being a little wannabe badass decided that he was going to run through his mother's, screen glass, back screen door. Okay, first of all, why are you going to break your mother's? She's going to have to replace it. Like, best case scenario, you bounce off it, you hurt yourself a little bit, no big deal. No, instead this kid ran through the glass and got so destroyed he had to be rushed in a helicopter to Cooper Emergency over in Camden to save his life. Do not. Anytime you see someone get thrown through glass in a movie or TV, it is breakaway glass. It's literally made out of like sugar.
It's sugar.
I mean, you will die if you go through a pane glass window. You just will.
Break easy.
Or worse comes to worse, you look like Zazaz. You have so many scars and cuts all over your body. Kind of would. Pretty punk rock, I give you that much, man. Yeah.
So, all right, so Mr. Lime said, I think it was, I don't remember the artist's name, but they definitely did a Howard the Duck Run the Jewels variant.
Ooh.
Now, I still think that there was a collective of artists that just did variant covers, but the Run the Jewels might have been first, and then they just kind of did their own thing.
Okay.
So maybe I'm wrong, and Marvel didn't swipe it from them. I don't know. I'm sorry. But I know the cover you're talking about, and yeah, it was like with the first Run the Jewels album.
It was Spider-Gwen. I swear it's Spider-Gwen.
Yeah.
Did the cover?
Is that the wait? Isn't
but
there?
I don't think the artist, because the artist is a guy named Gazin, and he's like a graffiti artist.
Okay.
So he wasn't like a Marvel guy. So I don't. If he did it, he just did the cover.
Okay.
Like I don't. But I could be wrong. I'm not right about a lot.
Wasn't there a famous like Run the Jewels variant where it's like zombie hands? It's like sort of like the Run the Jewels. I think it's Run the Jewels 3 with the two fists, or like.
Yeah, I can't remember.
And it's the one where it's like zombie hands or something.
I know.
I love how we just stand here and just speculate. We just go, yeah, I think it's this. I think it's that.
Spider-Gwen is Slick Rick.
Slick Rick?
It was a Slick Rick cover.
Okay.
It's like Howard the Duck. And I just remember because the guy I was working with was like interested because he knew about Run the Jewels and was like, oh, I want to see that cover.
Slick, Howard the Duck was B.I.G.
No, I thought Howard the Duck was ODB. Howard the Duck was the Brooklyn Zoo, the cover.
Right.
That actually has been ripped off by so many bands and artists.
Technically, he ripped it off from the Department of Welfare.
Well,
that too.
But here's what we'll give whoever really created that, because I don't think ODB really created it. Whoever did the cover to ODB's breakout debut album, he elevated a welfare card to art. He did what Warhol did to the Campbell soups and stuff like that. Cans, like he turned a welfare card into art. And
the last thing I'll say, everybody check out Meow the Jewels, where they took all the instrumentals and made them into cats meowing instead of.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Is it good?
It's awesome.
Not just as a gimmick?
I mean, no, you can't listen to the whole album like that. But they went through and did it like Kill Mike, like they did it as a bet or something.
But they did it.
They did it. They put the whole album together and it's cats meowing
instead of
instrumentals.
Is it still their like vocals over top the cats?
Yeah,
it's actually kind of cool.
It's fun to listen to for like a song.
Okay, is it kind of like the dogs doing Jingle Bells or whatever?
Pretty much.
It's probably really fun.
Yeah. By the way, man. I like most people probably already know this. Run the Jewels are awesome.
They got something new too.
Did they have something new?
That's what I heard.
They even put out a good song off of the Cyberpunk 2077 soundtrack. I think it's called "Pass the Controller." It's pretty cool. Yeah. They're very cool. But they're very political. And sometimes some people might accuse them of being too woke. So just fair warning, Oh my God, that's kind of neat. You probably can't hear it, but it's actually kind of neat. Look, that's cool.
You guys probably should.
Yeah, you probably. Oh, actually, yeah. You're not allowed to hear it because we.
YouTube strikes.
Yeah, we don't want to get cut off of YouTube as we're playing like our infamous Halloween episode.
Yeah. No. Well. There's an artist rendition.
Oh, no kidding. All right.
What happened?
They donated the money from the Cat album to family George Floyd.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
Other victims of police brutality.
All right, very cool.
Which there's probably a few.
It's still going on. So nothing changes in this country. Sorry. Let's get back to comic books that are political. So Suicide Squad, get Joker. It's a all right. So going back to the DC Black labels, Al and I and Jason were talking on the local show that we're a big fan of the Black label imprint because it allows a lot of creators to just tell interesting, complex stories with all of these famous characters, but without being bogged down or beholden to too much continuity. Obviously, if the creative team wants to carry over certain elements, they have every right to. But not only do they not have to be beholden to the past, they don't have to be beholden to what's going on in the present, and they don't have to worry about the future, which allows them to do some slightly bold choices. Now, killing characters off might not be the most bold choice, but when you're telling an old throwback 1970s, get the team together and do a specific goal, and that goal is going to lead to a lot of violence, it allows you the ability to kill off characters to give dramatic weight to the narrative while not having to worry if someone is writing a character in Superman and they can't have that dude die, so don't do that, so they can take some chances. So with that said, Brian Azzarello, most famous for 100 Bullets and a lot of other series, but 100 Bullets is the one that most people will come to mind, and Alex Maleev, who did the art for one of the best Daredevil runs by Brian Michael Bendis back in the early 2000s, and an artist who's done a ton of work. But again, that's one that most people know him by. But Azzarello and Maleev teamed up to do a 3-issue Black Label series called Suicide Squad, Get Joker. Now, if you're saying, that sounds familiar, obviously the title is based upon the old 1970s. Yeah, that movie came out in the 70s with Michael Caine called Get Carter. Not to be confused with the terrible remake by Sylvester Stallone called Get Carter. It's awful. Don't watch it. It's the equivalent of Spike Lee doing Old Boy. Okay? It's not good.
Spike Lee didn't do Old Boy.
Get Shorty, that's a whole other thing. This is definitely, in terms of its tone and its violence, think more Get Carter, less Get Shorty. All right? Golden Child with Eddie Murphy?
Golden Child is extremely watchable.
That's people don't like Golden Child?
Well, the Afronaut does.
Afronaut does?
He does.
Oh, okay. Because Golden
you
Child...
didn't say anything disparaging about
No.
We would never do
I actually never even brought up Golden Child. I have a huge, nostalgic soft spot for Golden Child.
You could argue that's the end of Eddie Murphy's career.
Yeah. Actually, the true beginning of the end was Vampire in Brooklyn. But Golden Child was the transition towards the 90s.
It was Golden Child and then Boomerang.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a whole...
And again, if you're worried about Eddie Murphy's bank account, then the 90s were really good to Eddie Murphy.
I mean, that Dolomite movie was good.
No, it was really good. That was really good.
I can't say much. I haven't seen much of his stuff.
No.
Since Golden Child.
Yeah, because the 90s, what do people most think of when you think of 90s Eddie Murphy?
Wait, no.
Dude, that sounds so racist. Do you think Wesley Snipes and Eddie Murphy are the same person?
No, they're not.
Your coworkers would be very upset with you right now.
Thank you, Terry. I'm so
Daddy Daycare. Norbert. All the Shreks. Or how about Nutty Professor? And Nutty Professor. Oh, actually, I think I've told this anecdote in the story.
I gotta watch it again.
I took a date to Nutty Professor 2 I've walked out of very few movies. This was an early date. This girl and I were really vibing on each other, and we were kind of going through the pretense so as not to skip to the end, trying to be polite. Halfway through the movie, she reached over, she whispered in my ear, "Do you want to go back to my place or do you want to finish this movie?" And I looked at her and I went, "We're going back to your place." And that's a big deal because the amount of times I've been with a woman and we're watching a movie and she's more interested in other things in the movie. And I go, yo, this is a really good movie. We really got to finish this. So that's how bad I thought Nutty Professor 2 was. I got out of there as quick as possible. So, all right, anyway, Suicide Squad, get Joker.
You mentioned the spin-off.
All right, real quick. Here's the best part. I am obviously trying to professionally, before we really go off the rails, segue back into selling comics. And Jason's great contribution to this is to be like, well, actually, vague, and it all comes to a grinding halt once again. All right, so the third and final issue, it was delayed, but it finally came out this past week. So I had the opportunity to sit down and finally read Suicide Squad, Get Joker, and I got to tell you, loved it. It's a straightforward story, but it's Red Hood being pulled out of jail by Amanda Waller to get a whole team together to go after the Joker. I mean, when I read this story is pretty much what the first Suicide Squad should have been. Get the team together and go after the Joker. All right? It's basic, it's simple. Tons of movies have done this concept. Why not just do it in a slightly 70s style, grim and gritty, all that kind of stuff, but you have the DC characters. It would have been perfect instead of anyway. And now, this isn't for everybody, but like I said, it's pretty straightforward. The team gets together, they go after the Joker, stuff happens, betrayals occur, a lot of people die. And when I say a lot of people, I'm talking about main characters die. And that is, again, what I was referencing in regards to the Black Label kind of existing in its own way. So you can give these stories a lot of narrative weight because you can start killing characters off, allowing the audience to sit there and go, oh, shoot, how's this going to play out? Again, they're not beholden to these characters having to all survive by the end, so anything could happen. And
like if you're tired of the regular DC continuity and just
but you still want to read these characters.
These are perfect. There's really no other way to go.
Like the Swamp Thing one the second issue still has not come out, but I loved it. Old Man Constantine, man, it's awesome. The other thing that I really liked about it, and it's not for everybody, my girlfriend constantly complains about my love of ambiguous endings. She does not. She likes everything to be tied up in a nice, pretty bow by the end of the movie. But I want a David Lynch ending to almost everything. Not many people do. And I'm not saying this is a David Lynch ending, because if it was, I'd be talking about this series being one of my all-time favorites. But what was cool about it is I did enjoy the ambiguous ending, which I think fit into kind of 70s style. Like, you can definitely tell Azzarello is really kind of playing with some 70s crime tropes, specifically some of the more like existential or avant-garde, even though it might not seem that at first. I'm thinking Point Blank, Long Goodbye, more things along those lines. So if you want everything to be resolved by the end, this might not be your series, but either way, wonderful series, great art, fun, tons of graphic violence, tons of depth and everything. But here we go, Suicide Squad, Get Joker. Now, each of these issues retails for about $7. But if you're interested in this series, this is a complete series. You can have all three, and you got to get them as a set, all three for only $15. And the final issue. There you go. Suicide Squad, Get Joker, 1 through 3. Whoop.
That's for sure going to be cheaper than the collection. Right?
Definitely cheaper than the collection, yeah.
If it ever comes out.
Yeah, that's another thing. A lot of these Black Labels don't get collected.
They've been There's been like
Magazine
delays
size.
with them since the beginning. Like
Yeah.
all the Black Label stuff.
Too damn big.
I don't know. Yeah, like they put out.
Size.
In fact, the only like Black Label collections I can think off the top of my head: Batman Damned, the Superman Year One by Frank Miller and John Romita Jr. Can you think of any others that have been collected?
They've definitely collected some. We just like we'll get them in. Like Henry's waiting on this one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's super delayed. So like we'll get one in, I think, for certain people who order it. But,
I hope so, because I actually kind of wanted to get that in a collection, and I want to get Catwoman, Lonely City in a collection.
What was it? The Joker, Jeff Lemire did.
Yeah.
They collected that in hard.
Oh, okay. I must have missed it.
Heavy the green check.
Is that the one he did with Andrea Sorrentino, the artist who does a lot of
Killer Smile.
Killer Smile? That's it. There you go. I wonder if that was pretty good. I didn't read it. Anyone read the Joker, Killer Smile, the Jeff Lemire, Sorrentino Black Label series? I'm curious your thoughts on it. Oh, someone grabbing them?
Someone's grabbing.
Enjoy.
Mr. Lime's grabbing them. Mr. Ebner, I'll see if we got extra copies. I'll see if I can put one together for you.
Yeah, well, if we have them, we'll put them together for you. Gary, you're going to really enjoy them. And Mr. Ebner, if we can get them together, you will also enjoy them. Do we still have copies of 3? That'll really. Oh, yeah, we do have a copy of 3 over there. It's just a matter of if we have 1 and 2 left.
Oh,
Yeah. Jason, would you do me a huge favor? Are you cool? Okay. All right. Jason, are you actually watching the chat?
Yep.
Okay. Let me know why Al's back there looking to see if we can get Mr. Ebner another set. Just let me know if anyone has any questions or says anything. Until then, let's move on to a couple books that are up here on the top row. Here we have Infinity Inc. number 32, some early Todd McFarlane art. This is also the issue where the Green Inferno becomes the Green Flame, who will later become Fire.
So he went from
She.
She went from Inferno to Flame.
No, Flame to Inferno to Fire.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's weird. Her first introduction as the Green Flame was in a DC Superpowers issue, which at the time was out of continuity. Then they decided to make it continuity, and then this is the issue where she turns into the Green Inferno, and then later she'll turn into Fire and become a main character in the Giffen DeMatteis Justice League International series as the best friend of, you guessed it, Ice. So we got one? All right, cool. So you'll also get the introductory price of $15. There you go. Fellas, I really hope you enjoy them. I had a blast reading them. It was a real good story. Anyway, so not only is this, Green Flame or Green Inferno becoming Green Flame or vice versa, and not only do you get early Tom McFarlane art, but Jason, if I were to say this is the first appearance in mainstream DC continuity, and it's a Looney Tunes character, can you guess which character it is?
Just from the cover?
No. I'll give a hint. This character was on a lot of T-shirts and memorabilia and merchandise in the 90s. It became a weirdly...
Does he have something in common with Vampirilla?
What are you getting at? I think maybe?
Otherworldly.
No.
Okay.
He's not otherworldly. I'll give you a hint.
I was going to say Marvin the Martian.
No, then definitely not. No, that's a good one, though. Actually, Marvin the Martian would have been a character that popped up in a lot of, merchandise.
Calvin and Hobbes is not a Looney Tunes character.
I'll give you a hint. It is not Bugs Bunny and it's not Daffy Duck. So that's for sure. It was a very popular character. No.
Is it a heel or is it a hero?
Anti-hero. Yeah. And it's not a human. It's an animal. Yes! The Tasmanian Devil. This is the issue where the Tasmanian Devil, for whatever reason, gets introduced into mainstream DC continuity and then is quickly forgotten about. But, again, whenever you read on the internet about this issue, one of the first things that will pop up is first appearance of the Tasmanian Devil in mainstream DC continuity. Yep. This is a very fine plus copy at only $4. Just why? I don't know. Warner Brothers.
He puts the Taz in Tasmania.
Yeah, there you go.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Next up, we have first issue special number 9. This is a mid-grade fine copy at $8. You get a beautiful Joe Kubert cover, and you get interior art done by Walt Simonson pre-4. And in terms of like slight DC history continuity, this is the first issue where with the Tasmanian Devil, it's the first time Tasmanian Devil loses his virginity. It's a pretty sweet kind of it's heartwarming, you know. Like they should teach this more in class, how to really. Okay, I gotta pull it together. That was funny.
Remember that show? Remember the cartoon?
Yeah, absolutely.
The whole family of
Yeah. I remember Tiny Toons when he would show up, like, and he was like the obnoxious friend who always broke everything. He's like, oh no, mom's gonna be home, and my buddy Taz broke everything. Anyway, in terms of DC continuity, this is the first time that Dr. Fate's helmet is referred to as the Helmet of Naboo. For most people, who cares? But, you know, for DC heads, you know, Mr. Noble, I don't see you out there. Here's some DC books.
Yeah.
Nah, it's okay. I felt Mr. Noble, you're probably not watching right now, but I found out his beloved dog, Cashew, passed away earlier in this week. Yeah. He had a memorial photo, and it's one of the very few comments. I was just like, oh, dude. I made me tear up. It was like the first thing I saw in the morning because I checked just to make sure anyone messages like business wise, and it's the first image that came up, and I was like, now I'm looking at my puppy with her belly exposed. Yes, I love you. I love you so much. But yeah, poor Mr. Noble. Yeah, broke my heart. All right, real quick, let's run through these last 3 books that are up here. A couple of these were from last week, but I just want to show them off again. Tales of Suspense, number 84, Jack Kirby, Captain America fighting the Super Adaptoid. This is a VG minus copy at $20. And then we have Marvel Tales, number 2 from 1965. First appearance of Doctor Strange, first appearance of the X-Men, the issue of the Incredible Hulk that he fights the Circus of Crime, and this issue of Avengers, which isn't Avengers number 1, or is this Avengers number 1 as well? So it's Avengers number 1, X-Men number 1, Strange Tales 110, and Incredible Hulk 2 or Incredible Hulk 3.
It says the origin of Avengers.
Right, it'd be number 1, right? Yeah. Well, anyway, as everyone gets priced out of the issues that are reprinted in this book that now go for thousands and thousands of dollars, people have turned to this is the very first time these issues were ever reprinted in Marvel Tales number 2. This is a VG minus copy at $40. And a terrible copy, but a reader copy. It's complete, but it's... All right, real quick. All right, so Shazam number 1 has recently gone up in value a lot. Maybe after the success of the film, because obviously Captain Marvel, Shazam, dates back to the Golden Age, all that kind of stuff. Well, this was the issue where Captain Marvel officially became part of DC continuity, okay? It's a book that even in a low grade, sells for around $15. We're selling this copy for only $6. Do you want to know why?
It's low grade.
So, can anyone see this spine? Somebody rebuilt this book.
Really?
Yes. Like, I was looking through it. This book has been, it's a blue, some weird blue.
It just looks like a crease from it.
Yeah, but here, I know, but take a look at it. Somebody rebuilt the book. It is the first time on the show I've ever graded something as fair. And fair is like, at best, a 0.5.
Oh, they should have cut the book apart.
Right, and rebuilt it, and it's got a bunch of like mold or like I don't know what's going on with that book.
That's like
it's like a weird
epoxy kind of thing going.
You can smell it.
I know.
I think.
But again, it's a book that has enough value that I genuinely felt comfortable still pricing it at $6.
Not original Staples.
No, definitely not original Staples. It's a reader copy.
They took like a. That's actually pretty cool.
Because
the way they did it.
I think if you look at this, I think the spine fell apart.
I love that.
Like look, like I think the spine fell apart, and they had to literally rebuild the book.
It's like with a school test book cover.
Yes,
Like it's got that kind of feel.
it's crazy. Like when I saw this, I was like, "Where did this come from?
Pretty badass. Whoever did that, if you're
Who
watching,
had this?"
very nice.
Yeah, where's that? There you go. Anyway, if you're interested in the Shazam #1, Superman does not appear in the book, but that is the first Captain Marvel published issue by DC Comics, and it is the beginning of Captain Marvel being part of DC continuity.
Another lawsuit.
DC back. Oh yeah, he still worked. He worked on it, I think, up until issue 9 or 10, and then Otto Binder came on. And in fact, I'm pretty sure at one point in the show we had the issue, the last CC Beck and the first Otto Binder. Yeah. And in fact, we had a really good copy of that somebody bought one time for cheaper than what it's going for now. Really?
Yeah, just like when it was like this era. I mean, it was he got some newer stuff and some older stuff, and I was just like, oh, we had these.
Cool.
I was just surprised.
You know, it's funny you say that. You know, I always like to joke about how we don't communicate here. The amount of times that I find books in the back issues that I never knew we had. I'm like, why didn't you even tell me we have these? It's just like everyone does their own thing here. It's like everyone exists in a vacuum.
You work by yourself until the show starts.
Yeah, it's insane.
We're going to take a quick break.
Oh, is it our last break?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's take another break, and we got about maybe 20-ish minutes left, probably. Is it 7:30?
7:30. No, one more break after this.
Oh, we have so it's like a quick. All right.
Comic Collectibles is a pretty straightforward show. You got Rex here, he sells the comics, and you got Rockin' Robbie, he knows about the comics. And finally, John, well, no one really knows what John does. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a great guy, but he just keeps showing up. Come to think of it, I don't even really know how he gets in here. Anyway, awesome comics, rare books, rarer signatures, slabbed books, and amazing cover sketches by Ken Hazer and others. Simple formula, you want the comics, you buy the comics. To sum up, Rex sells the comics, Robbie knows the comics, and John, who might possibly be a ghost. I mean, seriously, has anyone ever seen him show up or leave? Comic Collectibles with Rex and John, Mondays from 6 to 8 Eastern on The Experience. Comic Culture and Sales.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
There's a super new way to support your friends over at The Experience. Head over to YouTube and send us a super chat, a super sticker, or a super thanks. We'll be super grateful for your support. And then keep an eye out as we launch membership services over on YouTube. It'll be a great way to get first look access at new content and shows before anybody else. Keep your eyes peeled and make sure you're following us on YouTube. Who would win, Batman or Superman? It's the age-old debate, except it's so much more complicated than that. Nerd Killer Warfare every week on The Experience is your chance to debate other nerds in the questions we've all been asking for years, except we take those debates and turn them up to 11. Go to bit.ly/EXP casting or scan the QR code to be part of the show.
Yeah.
eBay's an
It's an amazing place because I swear fake people live there.
Oh, no, they are.
And like some of these prices of some of these books that people purchase on eBay, I do not understand. Who are you? Why are you spending that much? This book is not valued at that. Oh, we're back on. Hey everybody, what's up? What's going on? No, hey. People trust us because we're honest, we're transparent. When we give a price to a book, we're trying to be as fair as possible, okay? As somebody said earlier this weekend when I said, we priced that. Oh, that book's $40. I'm like, yeah, I know, but we're selling it for $20. We don't have to be that greedy. And the guy goes, I've never heard a comic book store employee ever say that. And I went,
you guys
thank
go
you.
by the sold price, not the asking price. The asking price could be $1,000. If eBay says it's $1,000, doesn't mean that's what people are paying for that book.
No. I've looked at sold, completed sales.
That's the thing.
Dude, you do know that Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man 6 and 7 at one point sold for $250. And the book has settled exactly where I said it would, $50 to $60. Now, issue 7 has gone up a little bit more. Issue 7 is now like a $20-ish. But again, that's all. This is not that difficult, all right, in a lot of ways. It is just, in many ways, it's just basic human psychology. And as the kids like to call it, FOMO. Everyone's afraid of missing out. Everyone's afraid of being late to the party. And some people take advantage of that urge and, let's say, kind of lean their thumb a little heavy on the scale.
A little bit.
All right, that's all. But as I've said many times on the show before, we are a retail shop that needs people to come back and shop with us more, like, again and again. So we're not here to take advantage. Anyway, sorry. Jason and I, we were having a little rant during the commercial break. Yeah, so let's get back to the books we actually have. And we're not going to get through them all, so let's just be quick about this. Here we are, The Origin of Shroud, Supervillain Team-Up number 7. This is a mid-grade copy at $6. Namor, Dr. Doom, fight the Shroud. There you go. Next up, you get Marvel Team-Up 103. Technically, the second appearance of Taskmaster. This is where Spider-Man and Ant-Man fight Taskmaster. I already said it. This is a VG copy, so it's only $4. And then we get Fantastic Four 107, the first John Buscema issue of Fantastic Four. But you're going to notice this is the second time on this show we've ever graded a book as fair. And it's only $3. Do you want to know why? 2 reasons. It's missing half of its back cover, and there's fire damage. So some of you might say, is it even worth $3? And I would say, I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. We don't have any more of Toxic Avenger number 1, but we do have the second appearance of Toxic Avenger, issue number 2, written by Doug Munch. And, hey, illustrated by a coworker of ours, best friend, Rodney Ramos.
Hey, dang it, already.
That's an inside joke that no one else will get. A high-grade copy at $6.
You know that coworker put books on hold?
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I was like, why
aren't there books still?
I was like, why are these here? And they're like, oh, they emailed me they wanted these books. I was like, see, there's still books in here from
3 years ago.
From when Vampirella number 1 came out.
Oh, so 5 years
Christopher
ago.
Priest was in the store.
Yeah.
And this coworker put some books on hold, and they're still in there. And then I had to add to that pile. Because somebody else added to it.
We're weird.
Are we though? Are we weird?
No. The universal weird.
No, absolutely. Yes. Broad strokes. Broad strokes weird.
Yeah. nothing ever seems to be consistent in regards to behavior and action.
This is a comic book. It was the same as the other story. With price was, I was just like, really? That's what we're doing now? Yeah. And they just shrugged it.
Some people are just,
You remember?
But no one's watching at this point. We can have. This is when
It's just us.
This is why I don't understand why people don't tune in for the last half hour of the experience, because this is when we really get real.
Let me
It's
ask
just
you
a
a question.
talk shop.
How long did you work here before you read behind register? Like with the manager?
Oh God,
It was years, right?
6 to 7 years.
Did you get yelled at?
Yeah, I only read previews.
You weren't allowed to read any of the previews, or was
Yeah,
that was it?
yeah, a comic shop news. Yeah. Now now people literally ignore customers walking in the door because they can't look up from the book they're reading.
It's just like, I don't know. Sorry, I had to pick up a lot of trash off the floor this morning. Shout out to whoever worked yesterday and left all the receipts on the floor.
The person, for whatever reason, doesn't give the customer their credit card receipt.
Trash can's right here. It's right. It's literally you just turn around and drop the. It was like a ticker tape parade.
Again, this is when everyone should tune in.
I was very I was doing okay with it until I just thought about it right now.
Speaking of which, Marvel Adventure number 5, reprints Daredevil number 26. The Daredevil fights Stiltman issue. This is a fine minus copy at $4. Oh, wait, we got these High Adventures. I actually wrote notes about these that no one will care about. High Adventure number 1. This was a series in the mid-'80s where Marvel decided to allow writers and artists to work on stories that take place in like historical periods that aren't normally talked about, at least in comic books in the early mid-'80s. The Napoleonic War, the Edo period in Japan, the Civil War. What's the question?
No, it's for us later. Go on.
Oh, okay.
It's the Akira question.
It's an Akira question?
Did you sell it?
Did I sell it?
That's his copy.
No, it's my copy. That thing's out of print.
You're selling it.
No, I was.
What? Oh man, I was waiting for it. You know what? Go on. Say your book. I'm leaving. No, I'm leaving. I'm done.
You thought I was selling my only copy of Domu?
Yes.
That isn't.
Dude, I was so excited too. All right, keep going.
Did you know what that was?
Yes.
Have you heard of it before?
Yes.
Okay.
You brought your copy in.
What's that?
Did you sell yours here?
No. What are you thinking of?
Because I walked in today.
I remember like years ago. I remember you brought them in for like trade. Maybe you had 2 copies.
Maybe I had 2 copies.
I was just like, really? You getting rid of this?
No.
I walked in today. I said, Al, I want Akira issue 38, the last issue. And he's like, oh, nobody has that.
Nobody,
like,
I have it, but nobody has it.
Yeah, I was so close to fun.
You know how much that book is now?
I hate you both so much.
Like
I'm
$2
so close. So close to completing the series too, and I hate it.
Yeah. Good luck.
I know.
I
I
bought that
can't.
here at a back issue sale here. It was in the bin.
Really?
So it was like, it's like a $10 book cover price. Like,
Yeah. It was
How
a
long
little.
ago was this?
So
Was
it
this
was like
one?
$7, $6. Like it was only 50 cents over.
Wow.
And I had been waiting for it, and it finally came. I missed it by like a month, and I was like, oh man, it's all sad.
You know what sucks about my issue? I let a friend read my Akira, and he spilled water on it.
I'll still buy it.
No. I keep it because I will not let it go because I have a complete Akira run, and I will never be able to
I'm missing 4 books.
rebuy that.
I'm missing 4 books, and it's stressful.
But again, do you know this? Because you probably didn't see the Instagram post. I actually forgot about this until I was about to, because I was reading Domu, and I'm trying to do, like when I'm catching up and reading stuff, I'm like, let me just promote it. It's a good way to just post on Instagram. Kind of, and people seem to respond when you kind of like talk about something, about how you feel about something. They like that. Okay. So I was talking about Domu, and I was like, oh, shoot, I got to real quick remember who actually originally published it, kind of a thing. And when I was doing that, I discovered 2 anecdotes that I had completely forgotten about. In the early 90s, Domu was so close to being made into a live-action film by David Lynch. And in 1999, the second and only time Domu almost became a live-action film would have been directed by Guillermo del Toro.
Those are two people that definitely should do that book. Like that same time. Like who? There's
Yeah, they should direct it together.
You know what? Tag. Oh my God! How much of a nightmare would that have been? That would have been awesome. Make it happen. How much make it happen? What?
It's all right. They went 5-2. 5-2 in the road trip. That's a good road trip. All right. I would have said 4-3 would have been good, and I thought they were going to sweep the Mariners and lose 3 out of 4 to the Dodgers. It didn't work out that way. But yeah, could you imagine David Lynch doing Domu and then Del Toro doing Domu?
It's been your stuff, right? David Lynch doing Akira.
It's brilliant.
Who's doing? So somebody.
Don't worry. Whoever's doing Akira is not.
I'm not watching live action.
In fact, reading Domu, because I recently reread the entirety of Akira and then I read Domu again, and I love Akira. One of my all-time favorites. I love the anime, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, is Duke listening? Because Duke hates it.
I know, I don't get it, but you know. But if they were going to do a live-action film of either of those two, Domu. Domu would just work better.
Yeah, and the narrative would be more.
It's
simple. David Lynch,
but not simple.
Right.
But it's just less business.
In a way, while I was reading it, before I rediscovered the Lynch Del Toro anecdote, which I completely forgot about, as I was reading Domu again, the thing I kept thinking of was an Amblin Entertainment produced Domu film directed by John Carpenter. That was like kind of like the vibe I was getting. Because there are moments early where it really feels like Halloween. Like it's really creepy. Yeah. It almost feels like a ghost story before you.
Then, not
now. Of course, I mean 80s John Carpenter and 80s Amblin. I'm thinking like Poltergeist mixed with Halloween / The Fog. You know.
The Velvet Fog?
Yeah, the Velvet Fog. Yeah. I'm actually rewatching all of Seinfeld. I haven't gotten to that episode yet. But it's so good, man. It all holds up.
You gotta watch G.I. Joe real quick. Then I'll watch Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Seinfeld's like, I mean, it's like, you know.
Oh, Seinfeld, without a doubt. The only thing I have an issue with is like on Netflix, it's always high definition like stuff.
Yeah.
And so Seinfeld was originally like the 4:3, but they've done it to fit like widescreen stuff. The problem with it is it cuts certain parts of the frame out. And the one episode that is most destroyed by the reframing is the pothole episode. Because the entire episode, you can never see the pothole. It's all these characters standing around talking about a pothole you never see, even though in the actual original episode, the pothole is very apparent. Also, you will never see, unless you own the DVDs, the Puerto Rican Day episode.
Things like that.
Well, culturally, it can be accused of cultural inappropriateness, kind of thing.
There's I can't think of the guy's name. There's a stand-up comic, but he does like a one-man show, and he tells a story about when he auditioned for Seinfeld.
Okay.
And the production staff and his reading for Seinfeld, it does not paint the Seinfeld cast and producers in a very favorable light. I'll say it paints them in a rather racist, just very closed-minded light. But like for the sake of jokes, I'm not going to go into it because it's been a while since I've seen it. But it was it's all based around the Ramon Pooboy episode.
Oh yeah.
And this guy was like, well, what if we did this? What if we did this? And they were like, nah, it's a lot funnier if he's Spanish. And they were like, yeah, no, he's gonna be Spanish.
And he's gonna have that accent.
And he's gotta have and it was just a lot. He was like, well, what if I tried this? And they were like, no, you're gonna do it like we wrote it, or we're gonna get somebody. And he ended up not doing it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see that.
We're gonna take a quick break and then sell a book.
Sell a book,
maybe.
Get the inside scoop on everything happening at the experience every week. Join our mailing list by scanning the QR code at the bottom of the screen and then watching your email inbox. Thanks for tuning into The Experience. Help us out and hit subscribe over on YouTube and click the bell when you do. Need some help? Scan the QR code in the bottom corner. Did you know that every Experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out, twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code.
One of my favorite stories that Jason ever told me, where he was like, I gotta be honest, whenever we all hang out together, you and him have these conversations that seem so much more like just, he's really like open to what you're saying and what you're talking about and stuff. He's like, I've had those same conversations with him, and he is definitely not as open.
He shoots me down and tells me, like, all right, you know what it is? It's because I am me. That's
Okay,
why.
all right. And people are always trying to impress me.
I like to battle people. That's why he does that.
Oh, and I don't. Yeah.
No.
I never argue.
Well, he doesn't know you as well as he knows you.
All right.
So there's a difference.
Oh boy. All right.
Everybody could hit the thumbs up button. It would help everybody out. Thumbs it up, baby.
Thumbs up. What was that game in childhood you play?
Thumbs up, 7-Up.
Thumbs up, 7-Up. Right. What was it? Was the thing where you close your eyes
and you thumb up and
substitute teacher?
And substitute.
And somebody puts your thumb down and you think, oh, it's the girl that likes me.
But what was the outcome?
You close your eyes and you think you either put this person's thumb down or when you tag them, they put their thumb up.
Okay.
And then you get up and you had to guess who
put your thumb down.
Who put your thumb down? Yeah, there was like 3 kids that did it. It was.
And then you ask, you say it's the girl that you liked, and she's like, no, it's not me. And you're like, oh, crap.
Jason, did this happen to you?
Oh yeah, many times.
Because I don't.
Experience here.
Okay, because I don't really remember.
I remember like you had to put your head down. I could be.
I just remember the head down thing.
Put your head down.
Because I remember one time I fell asleep while my head was down. Because it was really comfortable.
I remember we had this one substitute every time she subbed.
To play that game.
It was awesome. It was like it was the best when she subbed because.
In a way, that's actually more fun than just them putting on Planet Earth or whatever. Did you guys ever have a substitute put on a movie that as you're watching it, you're like, are we allowed to be watching this?
Oh yeah.
Because I always remember
the geographic stuff on Laserdisc. They're a little questionable.
All right, because I remember. Do you ever watch the original Romeo and Juliet from I think the 60s or 70s? Vampirella, yes. And the full-on nudity, and yet we're all a bunch of like 11, 12-year-olds, and we're all like, what? It's almost as bad as we had a substitute health teacher one time, and she was an older woman, and she was supposed to be teaching. She was subbing for our sex ed class, and she, let's say, was a real stickler, and she was subbing for the entire week, and some Jack Tool in my class brought in a little VHS, and she asked him to put in the pregnancy video, because she was going to show us a video of a water birth. And he goes, I got you. And he runs up and he puts in the video. And as it begins, he steps back, and I give him credit for this. He really set it up well. And he's like, instead of a pregnancy video, let's see how the pregnancy happens. And almost perfect timing. He had tuned it up perfectly. Full on hardcore sex. Like just the most graphic. Like you were like, what? And the problem was, this was in a class where you had the TV and the VHS mounted up high. Right. And she had asked him, because he was one of the taller kids in our class. Well, she was a little petite woman. And I will never forget the image of this woman just jumping, trying to reach the VHS to turn off this loud, graphic pornography as the whole class just lost their mind. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Speaking of which, Amazing Adventures 1, 2, and 3.
That's a great adventure.
I don't know. What are we doing? We reach a point where you kind of, we're just easing in. I got jury duty tomorrow. I got to somehow get to bed at a reasonable hour tonight. Do you know how difficult it is when I go home after the show to get to sleep?
No Sixers game.
Nothing. And the Phillies lost. I thought maybe they would win. I could watch the highlights and like ease in. At least I get to walk Parker home. That's fine. You know, it's better than the company I usually have walking.
I was going to say, you walk me home, and I don't pee all over the place, but I will start doing it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Does he walk you home? Partial of the way.
Yeah, we walk. Yeah.
Sometimes he stays over.
Yeah, sometimes.
To make sure he's
hey, sometimes he buys me dinner.
I do.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
It's
really
really
I asked you three times. I asked you want to come over, you blow me off. So,
well,
we come over and hang out on a Sunday night at 9 o'clock.
Well, I have nothing better to do.
Let's do that. Let's just hang out Sunday night. Because he has nothing better to do. That's fine.
I'm lonely and bored.
Well, on that note, we've come to the end of the show.
Bye.
And we want to thank everyone very much who has made it to the end. We appreciate it. Yeah, Kyle. But hey, fellas, again, sincerely, always our thanks. You make this worthwhile. If not, it's literally just the three of us yelling at each other. Especially at this point in the night, where we start to get a little punchy. Yeah. Especially again, I haven't whined about it enough. I thought I was going to really whine about jury duty tomorrow a lot more than I did. I really set it up in the Instagram post. Like, hopefully. Again, I don't want to break my streak. I got a streak going. You know, I can get out of it all the time. All right. Well, with that said, thank you to everybody who's watched. Thank you for everyone who claimed anything. We will be back next week again, like normal. We'll be on the local show, which is on the Fat Jacks Comicrypt Facebook page. That's from 4:30 to 5:45-ish. And then we'll be back here on The Experience from 6 to 8. No Parker next week. Who knows when the next time she'll be around. Thank you, Parker, for hanging out. Thank you for being such a good girl and sleeping. Yeah. Didn't bark at anybody. It was just great job, sweetheart.
She got it all out of her system when she saw me.
Yeah, that's Jason, as always, man, even though you are officially so locked into this, dude, you are always appreciated. As always, thank you so much for all the help and everything. We didn't get to any of the underground comics tonight, but don't worry, next week, all of these we'll get to. We got a bunch more we haven't gotten to. We didn't do any of the variant sales. Maybe we'll do that next week. We had a bunch of new bundles. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe Mike will show up and have a really cool brown paper bag full of some sweet, sweet keys. No guarantees, but you never know.
Sweet keys, no guarantees.
With that said, everyone have a wonderful week. Take care of yourselves. Be well. Peace.
Bye.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.